everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and today we're going to try and get a few more items knocked off my never or barely used items in my craft room. And I think I have 4 items today that I think we're going to be able to cross off. So one of them is this circle punch. It's a Fiskars, I believe. Yeah, it's Fiskars circle punch. It creates like a floral ring, but I'm going to treat these more like snowflakes. At least in my mind, that's how I'm interpreting it. It also comes with a template. Now, I don't remember buying this, so I'm pretty sure I won it in a gift box, or it came in a grab box or something like that. So I've never used this before other than to try testing out how to punch it, but I've never used it in a project. So we're going to use that today. I have a bunch of the Catherine Pooler inks, and I am embarrassed to say that I have yet to use them. Or if I have, I've used them like once. So we're going to use the blackjack for our stamping. This is a Stampendous stamp set called Christmas Penguin, and it comes with the dies. It doesn't feel like photopolymer. I'm pretty sure it's probably like, what is the other one? Silicone maybe? I'm not sure. But for our purposes, it's going to make a card just fine. And then the last item we're going to use are these colored pencils, or pencil crayons if you're Canadian. These are the Fine Touch crayons that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I think I paid $3 for the set. So they were very inexpensive. They were on a clearance price. So this is what we're going to use. And then we are going to pull out my scrap stack. And we are going to use one of these and probably another one. So this is actually double-sided. So we're probably going to need 2 sheets of this, as well as a card base. Let me get the desk space cleared off so we can do some stamping and coloring and assemble this card and knock these items off the list. Sorry for the little bit of glare. So I just have some inexpensive, I don't even know if you want to call this cardstock. It's very, very thin. I think it's about 40-pound paper. I just got this at Walmart, I think. And it's not super, super smooth, which is what I like for colored pencils. And I think it will work just fine for this application. So I have my, I don't know if you can tell, but I have my stamps already on my MISTI. Let's take some ink and get stamping. Yeah, these are definitely not photopolymer. You can see the ink is beading up on them. But that's okay. That's why we're using the MISTI. If it's not perfect, we can always re-stamp it if need be. Okay, I think that looks good. Let me clean this up and we'll get coloring. So while off camera, I opted to die cut these already because these do cut right against the edge. They don't leave any white border, and they're a little less forgiving, and I didn't want to color them all and then find out that I had messed up in the cutting. So I pulled some crayons or pencils from my collection there that I thought I would use. Now they have no black, which I find very strange. But they have 2 shades of gray. So in order to get a little bit of shading in here and make it look like the penguin is black, I am going to use the gray with a little bit of a dark purple. Now, not a whole lot of this penguin is going to be visible once we add his clothes. So for instance, if we add his little sweater, you'll see there's really not that much left. And then if you add the hat on top of that, it's even less. We're not gonna, you know, like freak out here about getting the most perfect coloring. So anyways, I'm not gonna do anything special per se. I am not the world's greatest colorist. There are tons of people out there that are much more skilled than I am. I just like to have fun, and that's what we're going to focus on today, is just to get some color on here and just enjoy the process. The only problem with cutting them out is that you do have to hold it down, but it's not that big of a deal. I think if it really bothered you, you could put some double-sided temporary adhesive on the back and then just affix it to a larger piece of paper, you know, if you wanted something a little bit larger to hold on to. The colors came from the patterned paper that I picked. So you'll see there is this aqua color and then the orange. So I thought those would be kind of fun. Not your traditional kind of Christmassy cards. not that this has to be a Christmas card, but I am going to make it into one because, of course, you can never start Christmas cards too early, in my opinion. Okay, so like I said, I'm just not doing anything special here. I'm not going to use any Gamsol or anything like that. I am darkening up a few areas, but I'm not, you know, too stressed about it. Add some orange. And I'm just going to speed up through the rest of this coloring here because I'm sure this is going to take me a bit. And like I said, you're not going to miss out on any tips or techniques. Now that they're all colored, let's affix his clothing. I'm just going to use some Scotch Tacky Quick Dry, whatever it's called now. I have it in a fine line bottle just because I like using it in that bottle. And I'm going to add a little bit of dimensionals to the bottom of his sweater, but I don't think I want it up on the top. I think I want it just to look like he's a little bit puffy down at the, around through his belly. There he is. I think I might add a little bit of a glitter on his pom-pom, but I'll have to go pull that. So the next step is going to be punching out that circle with the Fiskars punch. Okay, so I grabbed more of that same cardstock. I've got my stencil. If you have a circle cutting tool of any kind, you could probably do this without the stencil. I think you just need to get the right diameter. But I'm just going to use it because I don't feel like going to go and see if I've got a circle that will cut this. And hopefully you don't have to be too precise to use this punch, because there's no way I'm going to be able to cut the circle, you know, exactly. I would think if it had to be precise, they would have given you a tool to do that. So I think we're going to be okay. I don't know if you can see this. It says large circle this way, small circle that way. So this is the small, it's the 4-inch. So I think we're just going to align it on this side and punch. Sorry for the camera shaking. Unfortunately, the camera is attached to my desk and I haven't found a better way of dealing with that yet. Okay, and then we're just going to align. Where are we going to align this? It's kind of tricky. It's probably why I've never used it. Okay, if I just focus on getting the image aligned and not so much about aligning the circle, it seems to be going much better. And that is what we end up with. A little bit crooked, not perfect, but not too bad. Okay, so I do want to stamp my sentiment on here, and I also want to add some glitter or shimmer sprays to make this a little bit sparkly because it is a Christmas card, right? I don't think this is waterproof. Yeah, it's non-permanent. So we need some waterproof ink and we will stamp the sentiment. So I pulled out some archival ink. Let's figure out where we want this little guy to go. Now time for some spray. So we're going to use the Sukaniko Sparkle Shimmer Spray. I've got my splat box. I probably should put something down in here, but we're going to risk it. This box is so full of colored medium that sometimes it bleeds, but I'm not going to drench this. So, okay, I've given this a good spray, and I'm going to be quite high up, probably, I don't know, about 12 inches. And we're just gonna give it a good dab and then let that dry. We have all our elements. Now it's just a matter of putting it all together. I trimmed the pattern cardstock down to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to add a little bit of this Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. The Scotch Quick Dry would work too, but I'm just about out of that. So, and then from a second piece of the cardstock, I just cut a band, and I didn't actually measure this one. It's 1 inch wide, but I didn't measure it lengthwise because I figured it would be just as easy to trim it to size once I had it in place. Look how shimmery that is. Hope you can see that. It's so pretty. You could put the penguin up on foam dots, but I am just going to keep it simple. And I had a little bit of scrap left over. We're going to put that on the inside of the card just to jazz that up a little bit. I don't normally put any sentiments on the inside. I usually just handwrite. Do you guys write anything? Like, do you pre-stamp your sentiments? I always think I should, then it means I have less thinking to do when I go to write my cards, but I never seem to do that. Okay, and that is going to be this card. Super simple. I think he turned out pretty cute. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, happy crafting.